The White House says President Biden is speaking with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy today to discuss the United States' support for Ukraine. That conversation comes as Ukrainian officials say their negotiators outlined proposals for a new system of security guarantees during peace talks with Russia. Ukraine wants an agreement like NATO's Article 5, which would require guarantor countries, including the U.S., to provide arms and impose a no-fly zone if the country is attacked again. In exchange, Ukraine would adopt a non-nuclear neutral status. Let's bring in ABC News political director Rick Klein for more on this. Rick, isn't Russia's opposition to Ukraine joining NATO because of Article 5? So how would this agreement be any different?
Yeah, Diane, that is a big piece of it. And Article 5, just so people are aware, says that an attack on one member of NATO is considered an attack on all. Any kind of an armed attack would mean that the United States and other NATO member countries would be obligated by treaty to respond as if it was an attack on our own soil. Clearly, that would make the current conflict a lot different because it would have automatically, if we make good on that obligation, drawn the U.S. and other countries into the conflict with Russia. Now, there might be some nuance here. One of the reasons that Russia has opposed NATO's expansion is kind of broader than just this guarantee, and they're not in the habit, or they'd like to not think that they're in the habit of invading other countries, and they don't like the idea of this Western alliance growing right up to their borders, including places that have been previously part of the Soviet Union. But it might be this nuance of future attacks, of anything going forward that might get it out of it. It would get basically a guarantee that Putin wouldn't try anything like this again. So maybe this is a way off the ledge for all of the countries involved. It may be some kind of a middle ground here, but it does raise the possibility of any sort of next time like this being a lot worse than this one.
Now, Rick, Russia itself had previously agreed to never invade Ukraine. So how does Ukraine ensure that Russia will hold to any aspects of whatever deal they strike here?
Well, I think this new invoking of a NATO-like alliance or a NATO-like guarantee would be the best insurance policy they have. They are always going to be in the shadow of the much larger and more powerful militarily and economically neighbor in Russia. I don't know how you can ever guarantee that. I think, though, it would give Ukraine some assurances to know that that allies, including the United States and others in Western Europe, would come to Ukraine's defense should this happen again. But I don't know how any of that can possibly be ironclad, given the way that this crisis has played out.
Now, what can you tell us about this conversation today between President Biden and President Zelenskyy?
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since they spoke man-to-man individually. In that time, we've seen Zelenskyy address the United States Congress, address other legislative bodies around the world, asking very publicly for what he needs. This is seen as potentially a big development, that Ukraine thinks this is a key enough moment to read the U.S. president in on the ongoing peace talks with Russia. And it may be that only the two of them can work out any details of what this NATO-like commitment could look like. We know what the asks are. I can't imagine that Zelenskyy is going to really surprise President Biden by asking for more in this private conversation than he has publicly. We know Zelenskyy hasn't gotten everything he wanted, including all of the military aid and including the no-fly zone to close the skies over Ukraine, in his words. But I think that this is being viewed as potentially a moment that the Ukrainians feel like it's time to get Biden involved and updated on the peace talks. I know there's often more optimism on the Ukrainian side than the Russian side at this moment.
All right, Rick Klein, thanks for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.